quick introduction. Hi, I'm Brian. I've been doing conversion rate optimization since like 2015 or so. I started off as a A/B test engineer, and so I built a bunch of A/B tests and kind of saw stuff that worked, stuff that didn't, and then I just got interested in the strategy. So I've been doing that ever since. And my hope today, I have taken kind of a quick look at your sites, is that I can give you just a handful of suggestions, like a couple things to kind of go chew on and think about, and a couple things that you can just go confidently execute and say, okay, I'm going to make this change. I think this is an improvement. No downside. Let's go. We'll start with JedBaby, which I love, and very much want to encourage you to chime in, ask questions, speak up, call me out. It's not likely that everything I say is going to land, but if, I don't know, like 2/3 of what I put out there sounds reasonable, I'll call it a win. So I'm going to share my screen and I'll put the site up. And real quick, Andrew, I think this is my mix up at the last minute. I think I looked at maybe the wrong version of the site. I went and did a mobile audit. And do you get mostly traffic and mostly conversions through mobile or desktop?
I see a combination of mobile and desktop. I think like a 60-40, where mainly is from the desktop. Okay,
got it. That's a pretty close to even mix though, for sure. Okay, well, I'm just going to run with the mobile then, and I'll keep an eye on time. And if it makes sense to expand out to desktop and see, then we'll do that. Mobile's harder, so hopefully we can have more of an impact there. So let me share.
I'm here to learn.
Yeah, this should be fun. Okay, everybody looking at JedBaby?
Yep.
On a phone? All right, we're ready to go then. Okay. And so I guess just a word on like what am I doing here, I guess, is basically I'm starting on the home page or the landing page that you've indicated that people are coming in through. And I'm operating in two modes. I'm kind of just trying to put myself in a user's shoes, and from a visitor's perspective, how is it to experience the site? What do I see? How do I find out what this is about? And then from like an experimenty guy, CRO person's perspective, what do I see in the way of best practices, things that I've seen in experiments before that could be beneficial? So we're just going to kind of walk through and look at some things from the visitor's perspective. So first thing to call out is having taken a look around the site, and I looked at the about page and looked at a bunch of reviews. I love the site. I love the story. And clearly people love the products. I watched some like unboxing videos. And so it's great that all that's going on, that you've got that content on the site. And if anything, if it's possible to bring more of that, to bring more of like the story and the experience, like right here on the homepage, we'd want to get that. And so like the first thing I'll do is I'm going to pick on the carousel a little bit and say that if you have the stomach for it, I would suggest considering what would it look like to just make the homepage hero, this section, just a static single image, single message instead of a carousel. And it can be a useful exercise to figure out like what would that even be? Like what is, if we have to go for one message in this most prominent section where the most people are going to see it, what would that be? And my sense from browsing around the site and looking at bestsellers is that it is about the fidget toys, this first slide in the carousel. Is that accurate? Is that most sales?
It is. So our store is mainly, we started with, selling children products, like clothing and teethers and toys like that, but everything gravitated towards fidgets because that's the majority of our sales nowadays. So yeah, that's what you thought was the right thing to do. But again,
yeah. And so, it is like, it is front and center. And I guess the carousel, it doesn't auto advance on mobile. So that, like, you get points for that. That's great. But on desktop too, I would say, why not? In fact, let's take a look at that real quick. Why not just go all in and have the whole, instead of having the carousel, it's about this main product and the main problem, the main solution that we're here for, instead of advancing like this. So I would say stick with this one and let's work with this. And so one thing I wanted to bring in a little bit, I guess, is the story here. Like if you could complete a sentence for me. JedBaby is for parents who
JedBaby is for parents who come here to shop for, I don't know, for kids that are shop for products that are safe for kids or safe in
Good. Yeah.
something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure. I think you're hitting on some keywords already. It's kind of unfair to put you on the spot, but yeah, I would say, I think like one thing it says is soothe or occupy a person's attention. And I would want to reword this and be like really, really just drill in on the, this is for your kids. So, you know, safe, colorful, high quality toys that, you know, I guess soothe your kids if soothe is the right words. And a place to go for this honestly is like the reviews. Like what do people have to say? What do the 5-star reviews say about, you know, what do their kids love about it? Possibly just a static hero section that really emphasizes like the transformation. Like you know, and I saw little bits on the about page where you're like, we have 2 very high energy boys. And so bringing that language in too, you know, to soothe high energy children, safe, high quality, etc. Something like that. I know that I didn't like give you something to work with there, but like, we can follow up. We can workshop some copy after this session if you want. The general principle here though is that like a carousel is not a great experience for the user because it moves out from under you when you want to interact with it. And so I would say go all in on the fidget, like you are in, like this is the fidget toy place for your kid, safe quality fidget toys. And then we could put a little bit of the accessories and the apparel below that, just a little, you know, accessories to apparel too, if you can imagine that. But really just lean into what's working and lean into what people love. I would expect to see more people pass through the collections page based on that. So let's see what else I want to say. Oh, okay. So we're not seeing it now because I visited this a little while ago, but and I think this is a theme for everyone on the call today. So we can spend some time talking about this. Pop-ups and widgets there's a lot of them. There's a lot going on. So I think like when I first visited the site, I had this slide up here, and then I also had the chat auto activate. And so kind of like my first impression of the site on my phone is I can barely even see the page. And so this stuff is tricky. I am biased toward any kind of widget we're going to add to our site. I need to have evidence that it's actually making us more money. And that can be hard to come by. Of course, you know, they're going to tell you that it's good and you should add it, but I would want to know that. And so my observation here is that the offer, the 20% off and the free shipping, both of these messages are present in the top banner, I think. And so I would say maybe just get rid of this slide up since there's no action to take. And for the chat thing, I would consider just keeping it deactivated, keeping it passive, unless we have some evidence that having it pop up like this on initial page load is leading to more conversions. And I doubt we do. So those are suggestions just to get out of the visitor's way and let them see like actually what we have to offer here. And I'll throw in too, since the products are so beautiful, if we think about revising this homepage to the hero to a new section, definitely have a picture of the product in the hero if possible. And a quick example of that, whoops, need to go back home, but when it loads, so like getting to see an example of the product is great. First thing on the page load, you see what it looks like because it's clear they're really quality product. So I would, you know, take advantage of that, I guess.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of leaving you hanging a little bit with like, oh, just redo your hero, like easier said than done. But I have some thematic suggestions, and if you want to follow up offline, happy to workshop that copy with you. But again, like let people see how beautiful and bright and shiny these toys are, if possible. So
no, it makes a lot of sense. I think what you're saying, I mean, I'm here to learn, right? I mean, you're right. I mean, these are just cartoon pictures that I found online and pasted and put together, but
yeah,
I think it's better for them to see the real product.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I guess I would default to like biggest seller, most popular item, get it up there, let people see it, and call out the benefits. Like from a parent's perspective, what's better in my life once I've ordered this and given it to my kid? And I think it's the soothing, it's the peace of mind that it's safe. Something along those lines, we'll get there. Took a look at the collections page, and was this it? Yeah, okay. And so the other thing we've got going on is this little slide up next sale widget. And so when I got to this, when I went to the accessories page, this thing slid up and I couldn't even see any products. And so this is something that, like, my assumption is anytime you get somebody to tap through to your collection page, as soon as possible, you wanted them to see at least like 4 products, assuming that you have a shop with multiple products. And so I think there's a couple things we could probably do here. We could maybe shorten this section a little bit, like just less height on this image. Possibly take down the space on these filter by, sort by. If you want to get really fancy, we could add custom events in GA to tell us, like, are people using this sort by? Is that even something like an affordance that people take advantage of? Do they care? Possibly hide it. And what that would leave us with, and then, okay, I'll talk about the next sale thing in a minute, but that would leave us with, instead of seeing really nothing here of interest, nothing that keeps the promise of, hey, show me what you got, they would be able to see like the first 2 or 4, first couple rows of items, of products. So I don't know like what's technically feasible and what's challenging based on your resources, but whatever could be done, that's not a huge lift, just to kind of squeeze this stuff up. And then let's talk about the next sale. I find them pretty intrusive, and I don't have any hard evidence. I really love the opportunity to gather hard evidence on this, but I asked around all my nerdy CRO friends, and the consensus seems to be nobody trusts the thing, that they think they're kind of maybe not legit. I don't know. I don't know what JedBaby visitors think. I don't know if maybe it's actually really, really huge, but I would say, rather than default to thinking, hey, let's add this and it's going to help, I would default to, I need you to prove it to me that it's going to help. And so if it's within your means, and we can follow up on this offline too, this is a really simple split test to run, where 50% of visitors get the current experience, 50% just have this hidden, like they do not see the next sale pop-ups. And if you're getting, I guess you probably want about 400 purchases a month or more to have enough data to trust the results, and just see, like at the end of 6 weeks, does this thing make us money or not? It's possible that it doesn't, and then you could remove it. And then that's more screen real estate that you can focus on showing people your product, which is what they want to see.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Couple more notes. Let's see. Okay, and this is, I'm kind of harping on this theme, I guess, but it's important from the visitor's perspective, is on the PDP. So you have the sticky add to cart. Let me just get us there. I'm showing these screenshots, but I should probably just be doing this live. So, okay, here we go. So we see 2 here. If we could see more, even better, right? It's like, it's like shopping in a toy store. When I click through to the product page, kind of a minor thing, but at the same time, when we think about how many people coming through this site, we want them all to have every opportunity. So yeah, add to cart just got covered up by this one. And now the chat's there too. And so when the next sale slides back down, I've still got the add to cart covered up by the chat widget. And so again, like from a data perspective, you could just take it off. You could just say, take the chat widget off the product pages. I'm not gonna fool with it. You could just nudge it up, bump it up 20 pixels on mobile so that it doesn't cover the add to cart. You could dive into the data and see, well, how many people actually engage with the chat widget on the product pages every month? What percentage of total visitors is that? How many of those people convert? And try to make a judgment based on that. So I would trust your gut on that. If you think, yeah, kill it, go for it. If you think, no, we need to keep it, move it up so that it doesn't clash with the rest of the page. So, oh, and the last thing I just want to call out again is like the fact that you've got, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but it's great that you've got, I don't see them, but I saw some, I might have clicked a product that doesn't have them, but there was like an unboxing video from an influencer or something, like an Instagram embed on one of the product pages. And those tend to help a lot. And so it's great that you have those, just calling out how awesome that is. And it's something to consider even making more prominent on the page, like moving it up a little closer so that it is closer to like the add to cart, the original add to cart here. An unboxing video from actual user, those are really persuasive generally.
Okay. That's good to know. That was one of my questions I wanted to ask was, are those videos even useful, right? I just embedded the code from TikTok and just pasted it in there. But if you say it's helpful,
yeah, well, I mean, we never know for sure unless we test it, and you can't test everything. So like, what are we going to do? But I call this out because I did an interview with somebody who has a plugin that brings these videos onto your PVPs. Like that's their whole jam. So of course they're going to say it helps, but they were able to run experiments. They did A/B tests across a bunch of merchants and found that, yeah, without a doubt, having that user-generated content on the site definitively increased conversions, at least in their sample. So yeah, those are great. Those are great to have. Okay, I've gone more than 15 minutes. So if it's okay, Andrew, I want to move on to the next site, and maybe we can make a little time for questions at the end.
No, absolutely. Thank you for your time, Brian.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks. You're a good sport.